So I've been rewatching Hannibal the series and Always Sunny at the same time, and I realized Hannibal uses the dentist system on Will. I do want to say there are some major spoilers for the series Hannibal, and there are also some discussions of violence and some bloody imagery. For those who aren't familiar, the dentist system is Dennis Reynolds' 6-step system for earning a woman's undying love. Let's go through them one by one. Step 1. Demonstrate value. Hannibal's all over this one from the jump. One of the first things he does is bring Will a homemade breakfast. Of course, he continues to cook for him more throughout the series. He watches Will's dogs while Will is out of town. He's helpful with Will's work. He fudges his psychiatric clearance so that Will can get back into the field sooner. He even shows off his surgical skills and saves a couple of lives in front of him. Value demonstrated. Step 2. Engage physically. Hannibal does this throughout the series, from a reassuring hand on Will's shoulder to an intimate hand on the back of his neck to just sniffing him like a creep.
Did you just smell me?
Step 3. Nurturing dependence. Unsurprisingly, Hannibal's really good at this one. He is very quick to make himself Will's closest friend and confidant. He also realizes that Will has a severe form of encephalitis that's causing him to lose time and have hallucinations. But Hannibal hides that diagnosis from Will so that Will thinks his problem is purely psychological and only Hannibal can help him. Hannibal is so good at nurturing dependence that eventually when Will thinks that he has murdered someone, Hannibal is the first one that he calls for help. It's a little bit of a sidetrack, but it's important and it comes back later. The person that Will allegedly murdered is a girl named Abigail Hobbs. She's the teen daughter of a serial killer that Will shot and killed in the course of arresting him. It's the whole thing. After this, both Will and Hannibal get way too involved in Abigail's life and sort of see her as a surrogate daughter. Step 4. Neglect emotionally. Hannibal gets Will imprisoned for Abigail's murder and also frames him for a bunch of other murders that Will did not commit. He also takes over Will's job at the FBI and starts having sex with the woman that Will is romantically interested in. Step 5. Inspire hope. Hannibal does this a couple of times. He does eventually help to exonerate Will, and he reveals Abigail's alive. See, Will thought Hannibal murdered Abigail and framed him for it, but all Hannibal actually did was convince Abigail to cut one of her ears off so he could force feed it to Will during an induced seizure, so Will would then throw it up later and think that he had killed and eaten Abigail. Hannibal, you scamp. Anyway, hope inspired. That is until very shortly after this, when Hannibal stabs Will in the gut, slits Abigail's throat in front of him, and fucks off to Europe, emphatically executing the final step of the dentist system: separate entirely. And what happens? Will winds up chasing Hannibal to Europe, and eventually they murder someone together, which is Hannibal's dream come true. What can I say? The system works.